All right, hello everybody. I hope you find this video having a very good day already. So, for everybody who just subscribed, sorry that I didn't post for a month. I had a little bit of a whole burnout thing. I did have an idea to start a video, and it was just going through what they probably would have actually worn in the 40s. It's more for a men thing because last I checked, I was a man. But then as I was making that video, not only did it manage to take an hour and a half worth of filming, and it was at 2 a.m. when I did it, 2 3 a.m., and I mumbled so much and just kept rambling, and honestly, I deleted that thing from my little photo library. But another part of it too was when I was going through it, I realized just how many clothes that I was looking at and was not actually wearing. And also I had the camera positioned into my closet and my side of the closet, and it looked full, but I couldn't attest to actually wearing any of it. And that part kind of just got to me in a way. So, as you will probably be seeing in the title, I nuked my wardrobe. Currently, everything has not actually been gotten rid of yet. I have a friend of mine who needs to be looking at a couple of things, and the rest of it, the consignment store in town, they've just decided that they're gonna basically take consignment once a week, and it's pretty much only gonna be on days that I'm not gonna be able to get to it, in my opinion, because apparently people just sort through clothes that much. But anywho, it is a lot of clothes that I've just decided that I don't. I There's a lot of reasons for it. So first one, I think just hanging up here alone, it's 7 suits and 2 sports jackets. Then I have 4 button-up shirts here, kind of dress shirts. One overcoat. Well, actually, I guess it's 5 dress shirts and technically a sixth one, but the sixth one I do just need to clean up. And for right now, that's just about it. Oh, and a pair of shoes, which I'll have to get here in a bit when I go to show you all these. But so, so at least this all 7 suits and sports jackets, the overcoat, and at least 2 of the shirts at this point, they're just big. And it's sad because 2 of these suits, they're not the first suits I've gotten. Unfortunately, my first suit was a Men's Warehouse suit, and the second one was a funny one that I did in fact wear to somebody's wedding, but it was all in good jest, and I let them know beforehand. And my buddy, who was also supposed to wear a funny flamingo suit, a suit with flamingos on it, he chickened out on me, so it was basically just me being the funny one there. But anywho, those 2 suits, those were the first actual suits I had ever bought and could actually wear at a better time. And I loved those suits. The only problem is they're just big. I don't know. I'd have to say I'm more on the smaller range of medium or the bigger range of small in most cases. I think my jacket size is chest size anyway. It's 36, 38, and then my waist is around 32, 31. That's about how small I am. And every time I go to try to find a suit or anything at New to You, which is the consignment store in town, I feel like I'm in competition with someone in town, right? Because I'll see every size just below 38s and 36s, and then I'll see 40s and 42s, and there's nothing there for probably more my size. It's always way too big and occasionally too small, but there's never anything there. But you'd think that not everybody is a 40 or a 42. There have to be people more my size too running around here that want formal suits and all that. So it's kind of a conspiracy in my head because honestly, how else am I supposed to figure that out? Really? And of course, the more proper answer is probably there are a lot more men that are size 40 and 42, aka taller than 5'7", 5'8", and with a little bit more muscle mass than a twig. But Anywho, long story short, that's mainly the reason why they're hanging up. They're just big, and I was really, because they are all pretty nice suits, and you will see here in a second. But again, I was hanging on to the fact that they're nice, and I just wanted to have something like that and have like the wardrobe kind of going on. And again, they're nice suits. And if you ever look online to buy any kind of suit, you either have the super cheapo ones that you could buy on Amazon for like $100 and they'll probably fall apart way too fast. Or if you get to the really nice section, you're starting to look more to $1,000 or more. It depends whether you're getting something that's more off the rack or if you're getting something made for your body. And there's rarely anything between those two, so yeah, it gets rough. Um, at least when you're buying new. And again, buying vintage and thrifting is just, it has its own problems. But anywho, again, I was in denial for a bit and was just really hoping onto the fact that I could just hold on to them and maybe tailor them. And then a couple days ago, I just had that thought of, I don't think I'm ever going to actually get these tailored, and I probably should check to see if I could even get these tailored. And again, long story short, they are just too big for even a tailor. It's just so much cutting and moving everything around that I think most people would say that that's impossible. Just go get a different suit. So yeah, that's most of the problem with all those. All right, without further ado, let's show you everything that I am deciding to nuke from the wardrobe. Tour the getaway closet with me, or giveaway, whichever, get rid of. So here's first suit jacket. This wasn't the first one I've ever bought, but it is a very nice one. Those are not functional buttons right there. I'm not even gonna show you all the interior pockets, but it is this very nice wool fabric with a little bit of patterning to it. I think they'd call this Prince of Wales. Very soft wool too, which again, I'm sad to be getting rid of this. As well, all of these usually have like the wide lapel that, again, I've fallen in love with. But unfortunately, that one needs to be gotten rid of. And there was this one I found at Goodwill, kind of a similar thing with the pattern going on. A couple of small holes here and there. And again, just too big. And I am absolutely devastated by that because I really did enjoy that one for very casual looks. This one I was holding on to in case of any funerals that I have a feeling are going to end up coming up. It is a black 3-piece, a lot of nice shine to it. I have no idea who this company is, but apparently they make some pretty alright suits. And again, too big. I think, no, this one was just a 2-button. Go on to this one. Nice gray suit. It's, the structures aren't, or the shoulders aren't too super structured, so it gives me more of like 50s, 60s vibe, especially with this slightly thinner lapel. And again, I would wear this thinking like Frank Sinatra or again like 60s or something. And it is also a 3-piece, not by Botany 500, but this Austin Reed people. Too big again. Then we start getting into navies. We have this little 2-piece right here. Not too bad, not too shabby, but again, way too big. And the problem is that I know I look good in navy. I've seen myself with navy colored clothes. The problem is, I can't find a navy suit anywhere. Or even just a regular navy blazer, aside from like eBay. This one, it's also kind of a 2-piece, just missing trousers, but the waistcoat, the navy jacket, again, just beautiful. This one is a 3-button, actually. If you can see it right there. It's more built to be a 2-buttoner, but 3-button overall. If you would like me to explain all these, I would love to post a video about it, even though there are people who are better explaining about it out there than I am, but I can do it too, I suppose. This last one is just a regular navy suit, again, 2-button only, with trousers, and it has this honestly rather gorgeous red liner in it. And again, too big. And the sad part is, too, I found these suits for dirt cheap. It was a friend of mine who ran an antique store in town. She had to go she had to close her shop down because they decided to do construction and basically drive any business away from her because of parking situation. But anywho, I got most of these for like 30 bucks a pop. And again, that's depressing that I have to just get rid of them now. But I never wore them anyway, so. Alright, so this is the second one of the suits I ever bought. And if you look at my profile picture, that is this one. Eventually I will have to change that thing because it'd be just absolutely depressing to have a suit that I had to let go of in there. But anywho, I like to consider this more as a summer suit. It's got more Western features on it. I think it's more or less just like this design here, and then in the back pockets, I think. But again, 3-piece, very nice light gray. I'm pretty sure it's a wool. Wonderful fabrics. And again, I am absolutely depressed to be getting rid of that suit. And then finally is this nice little 3-piece brown suit. I like this because it's a very casual suit, and I don't usually find myself in super formal suit situations, more casual suits. A brown suit is just a very casual situation type of thing. And again, it was these two suits right here that really started me on all this, and I just have to get rid of them because they're big. Words cannot describe the anger, sadness, whatever that I'm going through with that. So this is all but one of the piles of shirts because, again, that one needs a little bit more cleaned up. I messed it up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It's straight up white. It is a Revival Vintage French cuff white shirt with the 40 spear point collar. Again, I just ordered the neck size a little too big. I think that one is a 16 or 16 and a half, and I'm 15 and a half or 15. And again, things just get specific that way. This shirt right here is a white linen shirt, which is essentially in that same camp. It is 16 neck. And while I've heard you can shrink linen a little bit, I'm not sure I want to try that considering how much linen is worth. Let's see, we go to this green shirt in here and this purple shirt. I've only worn this purple shirt like twice. I bought the green shirt and I've never worn it. So definitely good reason to be getting rid of it, I suppose. This one right here, I've worn it maybe 2 or 3 times, but honestly, I don't know. Because, I mean, this isn't a bad pink and a white, but there's just something about it that just, I don't reach for it first thing in my closet. And I think, for me personally, if I were to keep it, I would probably keep it under pretenses of it's a summer or spring shirt. But, I mean, come on. This is in my state that I live in. So summer is only like 4 months out of the year. Spring is like 2 weeks. So, yeah. And then there is this pink shirt. I do intend on keeping 2 pink shirts in my wardrobe. But this one is very like, it's a very salmon-y color. And I understand with pink, it's very nice to do like a pale pink. So I have one pale pink and one super freaky pink. But that is in the sense of, I don't know. I will be wearing like pink. But this one, on top of, for some reason, I'm not as much of a fan of the pink now. It is also the sleeves. The sleeves are just slightly too short. The collar is just fine, but the sleeve is just like slightly too short. And then finally, I will be sad about this overcoat as well, because I got it at Goodwill for like 10 bucks, oddly enough. And people say Goodwill has been pricing people out, but I mean, this is a very nice coat for just 10 bucks. It is straight up, I think it's Harris tweed actually. Oh, it doesn't say, but the pattern and everything, and again, the thickness, the quality of it, in other words, makes me think Harris tweed, so I'm sure it's Harris tweed. The only problems I've ever had with this coat, aside from like, again, just checking in, realizing it's way too big for me, has been the pockets. I'm pretty sure they're made out of like some type of cotton material because it is pretty soft in there. Not polyester soft or acrylic soft, but like just regular soft. but there were holes in the pockets, and I did try my best to sew them up. If you've ever sewn a pocket without being able to, or if you've ever hand sewn or like tried to do something, right, and you can't actually get to the other side, that already sucks. When it's something inside of a tiny compartment like a pocket, sucks even more. But main reason why I'm gonna be sad to let this go, and it's not these, it is this neck piece right here. Because what you do for this, and a lot of these, or some of these overcoats, it's more a thing in greatcoats, is you'll go ahead, you'll button it all the way up, and then all of a sudden there'll be these two buttons right here, just right underneath the collar. And you go ahead and you take that piece right there, you put them on here, and that goes ahead and not only does it keep the rest of your collar up around your neck, but it also tightens things up a little bit in here so it can seal off more heat. And this is the first coat I've ever had with that feature, and it's absolutely sad to just get rid of something with that cool feature. But again, I have to, it's just too big. All right, and I forgot them while I was in the other room, but also these shoes. It's not in a sense that it's because they're blue. I honestly love these shoes because they're blue. It's just a little bit of fun, and that can also work well with little blue details in your suit. The problem and they also fit too. The only problem I have with them is right here. For some odd reason, in a lot of dress shoes, it will just cut into the back of my ankle. And it's only every once in a while that I have like more of a regular dress shoe that does not do that. But these ones are just really bad at it. So these ones are going to be disappearing. I might not replace blue anytime soon because footwear is also very expensive, especially when you're trying to get really good ones, relatively brand new. But again, I digress. So right now we are looking at basically all my formal tops now. So this one right here is now, unfortunately, my only suit. And it is the gray double-breasted suit. I'm guessing it's a genuine 40s, paired with the other white spear point collar French cuff shirt that I have, as well as with this wool. I wouldn't consider it cashmere, but yeah, I wouldn't consider it cashmere. But formal-ish overcoat, because it is starting to get colder up here, so I feel like these two would pair nicely, especially compared with the other overcoats. Then we have this one here. We have definitely a gray sports coat with a couple front pleating and also back pleating on it as well. This is my other French cuff shirt. It has got more of an Italian collar, but spread eagle, all that. This is the first overcoat I've ever bought. The buttonholes are a little rough on it. I was going to get into that in the 40s video. But honestly, I do still love this overcoat, so I will absolutely keep it. Then we have this set right here. This is my Green Harris tweed sport coat. That is a 3-buttoner. And I did get this from Goodwill for 10 bucks again. I think I also... No, that one was a new to you. Also, have to show off this little it's Hero of the Soviet Union pin that I got yesterday at a thrift shop. I might also make videos on it, but I do like collecting stuff from the USSR. I'm not super bad about it. But then we also have this other overcoat here. I would consider this more as a fall or spring type, right? Because it is a little bit thinner than that other one, even though it is like a nice Donegal tweed. But the other reason why I did buy this was because it was originally shipped to the town I'm living in right now. Not my hometown, but the town I'm living in. And I just thought that was so cool and nerdy, so I had to get it. As well, I do have a waistcoat under here. It doesn't quite fit super well, but I think I might be able to work with it. And that's pretty much all the fancy overcoats, except for, again, a Soviet officer's greatcoat, but that's a whole different thing. Now we have this, again, more fall, more spring type of, I think it's more of a gun club chick, yellow tweed jacket. It is a 3-button, more built to be a 3-button, slightly thinner lapel than I like, but I still like this. And then finally for tops, we have this 2-button, somewhat wide lapel tweed herringbone jacket. I do love this too. With it being winter, I'm thinking I'm going to be wearing this a little bit less, unless there is just a very warm day all of a sudden and my body's finally used to it being cold. I don't know, but we'll see. But pretty much that is it for all the fancy tops. So let's get back into just sitting down and talking. All right, so now I've shown you what I'm looking to get rid of, basically where I'm at right now. We have a kitty cat now. She'll probably be trying to meow over me and just basically walk everywhere. But anywho, where am I at? Other stuff that I didn't show you, and also where I'm going to be going from here. So I'm still going to go ahead, do that what men more often wore in the 40s video, because I still can do that. But aside from that, I am looking to, in a way, replace everything that I've lost. I'll probably end up acquiring another sports jacket or two. I'll try to just thrift those, and hopefully in more 3 buttons, because I like the 3-button a little bit better. But I think the way I want to go about it anyway is to still thrift at least the next 2 suits I'm looking at, which are a double-breasted 2-piece navy suit, ideally for more formal occasions such as weddings and funerals, because yes, you can wear navy to a funeral. It doesn't always have to be black, but definitely don't wear bright accessories because you're trying not to be the showpiece. You're just formally respecting the dead in a way. So again, there's a whole thing with that. Again, I can talk about it. Other people have talked about it, and there's a lot of discourse on it. I'm more of the traditionalist in the sense of it, but not too traditionalist. Anywho, so again, trying to thrift that navy double-breasted. I doubt I will be able to find it in my state. Maybe if I go traveling a little bit, but I think naturally I probably will not be finding that in person. I will probably end up having to eBay, Poshmark. Maybe I'll download Etsy again and try looking around for that. But that is the next suit I'm looking at getting. It's probably going to end up being next year, next calendar year anyway. That one, and probably my brown suit. My brown suit, I absolutely am sad that I don't have a brown suit, and I absolutely need to replace it. Again, yeah. So with the brown suit, there's 2 ideas I have for that. Either again, just thrift it, or there is Thomas Farthing of London. They do a lot of tweed formal clothes, and again, it's tweed. Tweed's considered casual anyway, so I might as well buy brown if I'm buying tweed. Either that or go for a lighter worsted wool thing, because yeah. But granted, also in the summer, I might be looking at a linen suit because it's hot. Linen just works for that. Wool's fine, but linen apparently might work better. I'll see when I get to it. Then maybe another gray 3-piece, just to throw that onto the pile. But other than that, I don't think I'll be looking at too many suits otherwise in the future. Other than that, it will probably just be hats, shoes, maybe a couple more shirts and accessories. Now, the 3, well, I guess I'll just go ahead. The other areas where I still have a lot of things are ties, like regular neckties, very big, heavy sweaters, a lot of different pants, trousers, however you want to go about that, and mostly in the underwear category. So like your actual, what covers your privates, plain white t-shirts and socks. Obviously those I'll probably just end up wearing through. That will eventually whittle itself down. The sweaters I honestly just would like to keep because again, we live in a bit colder place, so having sweaters is never a bad thing, especially a variety of them. The trousers, anywho, I have the ones I'm wearing now, which are very casual because they have the cargo pockets on them. There's also a hunting pair of trousers, another tweed pair of trousers that's considered a go to hell type of trouser because it's patterned. Although I found a matching pattern of it hanging up at in form of a heavy jacket at New to You. Again, that's a different thing. And one other more tweed kind of thing. I think it's a wool polyester, honestly. I might just get rid of it because I'm not sure I like it, but I don't know. We'll see. The other ones I do have are definitely more summery type pants, but they all need the waist taken in, and apparently I take forever to sew things, so we'll see about those. Otherwise, that's the trouser department and the sweater department. The ties, I'm 50-50 about trying to shrink down on that because a lot of why I need to be getting rid of some is because it's just the length of them. So again, this is getting into nerdy territory here. Like, I haven't been doing that already, but I'm going for a 40s wardrobe, if you can't tell already. And back then, ties were just shorter in general. They were 42 inches, whereas the more common necktie that you will see just about everywhere else will be 52, 54, or even bigger. Now, there's two ways you can circumvent that and still wear, because again, this is a long tie, but it is at the correct position if I were to take my cardigan off. But the two ways you can circumvent it are either doing a really big tie knot. So what I like to do is the Windsor tie knot because it's more extra steps than like the four in hand here. The only problem is that gets to be really wide and you need a wide collar for that. So that can obviously not happen. The other way is to take the skinnier part of the tie, intentionally make that longer than the broad part of the tie, and then just either tuck it into your pants or tuck it into your shirt. And it feels wrong to be doing that. It feels like a cheap way to be doing that. And technically there's a secret third option of just cutting it down and sewing it, but I don't want to try that with silk for reasons. Now, I've magically found 3 ties now, excluding this one, because this one I feel is an anomaly. But I found 3 ties now, 2 of them silk, one is a cotton wool type that are actually the correct 42-inch size for me. The only problem is I can't seem to find 42-inch ties somewhere on the internet without it being labeled as a child's tie, and they're not like that nice 3.5, 4, 5 inches wide that 40 ties can be. So I'm limited in my options there in a way. Yeah. And again, hats, it's not like it's definitely more of a want category in those. I have 2 gray fedoras, and I will eventually want more Baker's Boys, Newsboy, or Apple caps, or 8 panels. I usually like the wider form of cap for that, not like that weird flat top thing that usually goes on, or that weird one that like really like circles your head and then all of a sudden just like has a little dip. For some reason, I cannot get behind those. If you do like pull those off, good on you, but I can't, so I'm not going to. And again, those are more of a want. And then the only other hat that I think I'd be wanting anytime soon is a gray Homburg. I do have a brown Homburg, but it doesn't really work without a brown suit for color reasons. And again, also, I'd like a couple more shoes. I have my work chukkas. I have the loafers that I've been wearing this whole time. Might want another pair of loafers because these are kind of tight when you're not wearing wool socks, or these are tight when you're wearing wool socks or a nice thick sock. So it's those, then another like dress boot, and some black dressy shoes that are also technically casual. Again, there's a lot in what makes a garment casual or formal when you get to the especially nerdy bits about it. And I might even just cover it. At this point, I've been saying it so much, I might as well just cover it. Why not? Sue me. But again, other than that, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with trying to get a couple more pieces. I just have a couple of more financial priorities beforehand before I start really trying to get into all that. So that's basically where I'm at with that. Anywho, this was just a little video. I just wanted to talk about nuking my wardrobe and going to a more capsule type wardrobe again, like they would have had in the 1940s. And essentially, if there's anything to take away from this video, if you want like a life goal kind of thing or something, it's just being okay with having a favorite piece of clothing that you have that also just needs to go, and just being able to accept that. Because again, I'm absolutely in tears that I have to get rid of those two suits, the brown one and then the light gray one, because I honestly just love those, but I have to get rid of them, and I just have to accept that. So, clothing wise, that's basically where I'm at in life. After this, I will probably be filming that what men more realistically wore in the 40s video. But otherwise, clothing for me, that's basically it in terms of me explaining my life choices with clothes. It is a good life choice, by the way. There's nothing wrong with it. And honestly, I feel like there's more advantages to it. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to be seeing you in the next one. Have a good day, morning, night, whatever time you're seeing this. Bye-bye.